Call the council meeting to order, and Gary, there's one addition to the agenda. Is there for parks and recreation?
Yes.
There's one addition to the recreation in the agenda. Okay, do we have a mover for the agenda? Deputy Reeve, Councillor Hallahan. All in favor? Carried. Declaration of pecuniary interest, if any. None noted. For the Reeves report, we will move right along, being as we had the budget. The reading of the minutes should do two for this, or one for both of them. For the two meetings that we had on March 4th, the one public meeting and the regular council meeting, do we have a motion? Councillor Campbell, Councillor Bodden. Any questions or discussion? All in favor? Carried. No deputations. We write the department reports. The finance and treasury, that we need a motion to cover the budget presentation. Councillor Gowan, Deputy Reeve Reach. All in favor? Carried. Public Works. You want to say anything, or just say it's on the pages?
Pretty much on the pages, it's pretty much self-explanatory. Make a motion.
Okay. Councillor Hallahan seconds. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried. The next health and safety meeting's the 28th of March. Okay. Moving to recreation and facilities. I think that's
Should be
Libro.
Libro, not the Libra grant. Yes, it's the Libro grant application. So very excited that a group of youth in Wingham have taken initiative to search for funding to improve their ballpark. And as the report explained, they're putting in a grant application. And since we are the owners of that property, they're looking for a letter of support from council to apply for the grant. They're asking for the full funding of the grant, and if they get a piece of it, they'll do a piece of the project. If they get all of it, they'll move forward and look to doing it all. I will be assisting this group as they are young, and it's a learning experience for them in the community to step up as community leaders. And they'll be looking at improving the Riverside Ballpark by placing the backstop and the infield fencing, installing a new outfield fence, and hopefully building a batting cage.
So
For a letter of support. McGowan and Bailey. Any further discussion? All in favor? Carried. Okay, point two. Pat.
Point two, so an issue was brought forward to me over the weekend and again today, and I wanted to bring that to council for support and a motion. So I'm going to give a bit of background. The Blythe Brussels Minor Hockey amalgamated 2 years ago. And when they did, the Brussels Arena and the Blythe Arena went into an agreement where last year the Blythe Arena would keep their ice in until the very last game of the season, to the end of March, and all games would move to there, and Brussels would just keep it frozen. And on the 24th, if we learn there's a game 5, we would like to open up the arena on March 30th The game on the weekend that was held in Blythe against these two teams, there was about 500 people in that facility to watch that game. And so we would like to extend that offer to Blythe Brussels Minor Hockey. We would request that they rent 4 hours on that day to accommodate the game, and that would help increase our revenue opportunity for that day. As well, we'll have concession sales, should gross about $500 if we compare it to the last game they played there. And it's a big community event. It should be played in our home community, and we just want to maybe offer that out to them. Our projected expenses would be, we suggest $600 in hydro to run those compressors for the additional time that is required to keep that ice in until March 30th, when potentially Game 5 would be played. I hope I explained that clearly.
So moved.
Councillor Campbell, seconds. All in favor? Carried.
Did have one question though, through you, Your Worship. Were we approached to be asked to keep the ice in at all? Or did they?
It's been going on for about a week now, going back and forth about what Brussels Arena was doing, and it sort of came down clearly this week that they are definitely taking their ice out. And so Blythe Brussels Minor Hockey did approach Dave to say, is there any way that we could play in our community? And so a discussion was held today with Blythe Brussels Minor Hockey. Yeah.
Have Central been contacted?
I beg your pardon?
Have they already asked for ice someplace else, or is that just talk?
The Central Huron?
Yeah.
They've actually booked it. They had to book it in order to confirm the series, which is a contract they signed. So they can change the venue, but not the date and time, so that's their intention.
Okay, that's good.
Business arising from previous minutes. Okay. Moving on to new business. Declaration, resurplus municipal land. Wingham repart of Lot 1. Regulation Plan 414. Part of Part 2. Plan 22R-5530, Town of Wingham, Township of North Huron. There's a map.
Is this John Barber's?
It's municipal land.
Yeah.
That should be
Adjacent.
for us.
Okay, thank you.
If I may,
Yes.
I think as council knows, we have a bylaw that outlines the process that we need to follow when we sell municipal property. It has to go on the paper, but also one of the things we have to do is have a council motion declaring that a municipal parcel of land is no longer needed by the municipality. So I've outlined the legal description of this parcel of land that I recommend that we put up for sale. I've also provided you with a copy of part of a reference plan highlighted in yellow, which is the specific parcel in question.
So I'll put a motion for it that we list it as surplus land.
The declared surplus.
Second.
Councillor Lydon seconds. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion? Carried. Okay, and point 2 in new business, also from Blythe Brussels Minor Hockey Association. It's a request for council to consider waiving the Blythe Arena floor rental for the year-end banquet, April 22nd, 2013. Councillor Lydon.
I have a question about this issue. I guess I should make a motion for discussion purposes, but I move the approval of this request.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, moved and seconded. Go ahead.
My basic question has to do with the rental cost of tables and chairs, $1,250. It seems like a huge amount. are these tables that are would be brought in by an outside organization, they're rented from an outside organization?
Yes, so I'm just going to pull up, we have recently acquired in Blythe approximately 30 tables donated from the old ones at Memorial Hall, which we have in the shed, and we have no chairs. So when people need to use the arena floor, they have to bring in outside vendors, and they need to rent those tables and chairs, yes.
Okay, so this question is a little bit off topic, but it's in the same general area. Would it not make sense for us to have a full complement of tables and chairs, making our facility much more attractive to outside organizations for renting, given the fact that they would not have to be transported and cover profit for an outside organization?
Absolutely. I mean, in the past, we didn't have storage, now we have the shed. So I guess it's just been the cost of doing that, purchasing them. I mean, tables cost around $350 a piece for a mighty light table that would be appropriate for this use. So if you're gonna buy, I don't know, 100 tables, that's $35,000. If you're gonna buy 50 tables, you know, you can do the math. And then chairs, you know, they're gonna be, you know, for 500 chairs, you know, $6,000 to $10,000. So it would be great to have that. It's just, we have never had the capital available.
Right, now, my motion covers only the rental fee.
For now.
Okay, what I would like to suggest is that, I would like to suggest that we pass that motion, but I'd like to request that the Director of Recreation look into what would be the number of tables that would be required and the number of chairs, what would the approximate cost be, and come back to council and make that decision separate.
For them to rent them.
That's for rental, yeah. You mean to buy?
He wants to know how much.
Deputy Reed, you had a comment?
Yeah, just a question. Can they not bring the chairs and tables from upstairs down to the arena floor?
There's an agreement with the Legion, who purchased those chairs, that they were to remain in the hall upstairs. So if Blythe Brussels Minor Hockey wanted to approach that group, they could, and they could ask, but it's been our direction not to allow them onto the arena floor, because that was the deal when they donated them and purchased them for that hall. That could be an arena board discussion, perhaps, that Brock could take back to that group. But that's not a decision out of my hands this time.
Yeah. Our next meeting, that's not for a while yet.
Just a comment, there is a business in Lucknow that rent out tables and chairs a lot more reasonable, I think, than that price there, that you could pass on to that group. I know that's not in the discussion tonight, but there is a group out there.
Are you aware of that group, Pat?
No, which group is that?
There's a group in Lucknow, there's a business in Lucknow that rents out tables and chairs.
I have no idea where they got this quote, but I will
Yeah.
mention that to them.
It's-
I'll pass that
I'd say
information on to
quite
them.
considerably less than that.
They didn't give us numbers, so it's hard to
Yeah,
estimate.
Any more discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion? Carried. Okay, moving into council information. Points that councilors want to bring forward. Councilor Bailey.
Page 3 here, we have Conestoga College for QuickBook workshops, $2,785.45. It's on PBST Center. Oh, you're gonna hate me after
Oh,
this then.
okay. Bring it on.
That seems like a lot of money for just explain to me how this all took place.
That's the expense, the revenue associated with that. Our profit our profit is around $1,700.
Oh, so they had a,
We hosted the course.
oh,
They charge us X number of dollars. We charge the students.
good,
X
because
number
I
of
read
dollars.
this as you spent $2,700 and some dollars to learn how to run that. That's not gonna fly.
They have a flat rate. Our break-even number is 5.5 students, and we had 11.
Okay.
Councillor Bodden?
On page 8 of the accounts, there's an item for Maitland Welding ceiling repairs, B Hall. I assume that that's a continuation of the roof repairs that were required for the,
Yeah, when we investigated the roof repairs that were required, there was some structural issues with the bracings in the roof, in the ceiling. And so that is the work that is now completed on that phase.
thanks.
Anything else, councillors, that you're still looking for that you noted earlier? Or? Councillor Hallahan?
This is Kelly, page 10. We bought a snow blower, Kelly, is this repairs to the blower that we bought?
Repairs to the blowers, the clutch went out in the blower. This one blower. That's the one that I'm thinking of.
This is a new one?
No,
Which
no.
item is it?
Rich McNeil Machinery, repairs to snow blower, $2,700.
Yeah. That's not a new blower.
Oh,
It's
okay.
repairs out to one of the older blowers that we have there too.
Councillor McGowan?
This is where just a comment, item number 3 from AMO, and maybe I didn't see it earlier, this is the first time it's shown up in the package. I think the session in London, it's a fairly interesting conference, but it sounds like a one-day workshop, and it's in London on the 21st, I think.
22nd.
22nd, it's kind of short notice.
Well, it could be the
It
20th.
is.
To be able to go, and I'm sure none of the councilors really want to drive to Barrier or North Bay. So I wonder whether we can just, if there's any way AMO can give these out a little earlier, or if it's something time sensitive, if we can even email it out so that if we are interested, we can go, because that seems like
That
a really
can be
interesting.
noted.
I was just gonna add, I was interested in commenting on that too. If one counselor could go and bring the advice back, it would be extremely useful.
Even if one of them, yeah.
I'm engaged in both of those days. So I can-
If there's no more questions, motion to receive, read, and file. Councillor Campbell, Councillor McGowan. That includes correspondence as well. All in favor? Carried. Moving to council reports and inquiries. Councillor Wadden.
I have, it's kind of a complicated issue that's been going on. At the last meeting, I made the announcement that the Huron Economic Development Partnership had provided North Huron with a grant of $4,200 to develop a short promotional video. And that was very well received, and I must commend Connie Goodall for the great work she's done in finding a source for this kind of development. Very professional group. I've been looking at their work on the internet. They do short videos for municipalities or communities, and these are part of a larger program known as Rediscovering Canada. So they're shown all across the country and abroad at no cost to us. So just this very basic cost for having it done. So we were given this grant unconditionally from the last month's Huron Economic Development Partnership meeting, which I'm a member. And since that time, the staff involved with that group have made some decisions that there's a condition, there should be a condition on this. Some of the other communities are choosing a videography resource which is willing to give the municipality and the county all the raw footage that's left over after they produce their, so, and that would be a tremendous resource. They could have copyright on it, they could use it for any purposes, for any promotion they wanted to do, and so on. That's a great idea. The company that Connie found that has this international and nationwide connection is not about to provide open access to all of their raw footage with blind copyright rights and so on. So we've had a lot of coming and going as far as emails over the last 2 or 3 weeks about this issue, and the threat was made by the county staff that they would withdraw our grant because we haven't complied with these other conditions, which they've applied after the meeting. There was no condition on the motion that was made in the meeting last month. We were very convinced, and Gary has been involved in this, Connie has done a great job as well in trying to argue this process through. But we were of the opinion that things were shaping up, that they were going to say, yes, you're quite right. There was no condition on the original motion. Yes, your grant is going to be confirmed. I just received the minutes for the next meeting of HEDP, which is taking place next Thursday morning. There's an item on there saying indicating the reconsideration of North Huron's grant proposal. I'm not sure what that means. It could mean that they are going to still withdraw our grant, or it could mean that they're going to ask for some new conditions to be placed on it. I can't imagine what those conditions would be. We know that the what's the name of the company? Edifice Marketing is not going to change their mind on giving access to their raw footage. So whatever conditions might be, may be completely unacceptable to us. We don't know. I'll find that out on Thursday at the meeting. But we've made ourselves very clear, both Gary and Connie and myself have made it very clear what our stand is on this. We've had some encouragement from other people on the committee, but I really don't know how the vote is going to go on Thursday. I'm really terribly disappointed that this group would pass a motion and then suddenly begin to put on other conditions that we just can't comply with. There are several possibilities that we could do. We could go ahead and as a matter of fact, I think we have already paid for the work of Edifice, and that's confirmed. Now the question is, do we get reimbursed through the grant? If not, we have the choice of perhaps putting in a submission for another project which would comply with their new requirements. Or we could say, no, we were given the grant, we should receive it, and it should go against this project. I can't make a motion now because I don't know what they're going to do, but I just wanted to give you this as information.
For information from I guess about a 20-minute telephone call that I had this morning, we are definitely getting the grant money. And that it's realized the restrictions that we were under is what was given to me by the deal that we made with Edifice. That it is supposed to be straightened out so that, yes, we're definitely getting the money. I'm not sure if Gary and Connie have anything to add to that, but it was Scott Dusso, Director of Planning, that talked to me. Well, there was 2 other subjects other than that, but dealing with other county planning. things, but he said, yes, that it has been cleared up.
That's good to hear.
Other things?
I'll get back to you after the meeting.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity, is this Scott too, so that he sits on the board? Or
He
how-
is
how-
director of planning for Huron County, so that he is, actually, it's Mike Pullen that is directly tied, but Scott is Mike's superior in the
So Mike-
chain of command.
So Mike sits on the board with you?
Mike is a staff member, he's not on the
staff
board.
member.
Mike is a staff,
Staff.
well, let me just explain
Yeah.
a little bit about this. Huron Economic Development Partnership is a partnership between the County of Huron and the Huron Business Development Corporation. I'm a member of the board of the Huron Business Development Corporation, and I represent them on this HEPD. Scott Tusaw represents the county on this. Paul Nickel represents HBDC as a main partner. There are two, the young man who made the presentation, part of the presentation of the business retention and expansion, Douglas Farrell, he works for Mike Pullen, and Mike Pullen works for Scott Tusaw in the county. So they're both staff members.
And they'll be part of this decision making. So who's gonna make the decision whether we get the money or, I'm just curious.
The board will, the HEDP will make the board. Mike does not have a vote, nor does Douglas. Just the members of the party.
Which of course brings me back to the question, how can we be guaranteed we're gonna get the money then if they don't even have a vote? Can you fill us in here?
I think it's important, if I may, it's important to note that our funding request has been approved. It's just there's some different interpretations as to what the terms of the funding should be. Certainly Councillor Bodden's version of the events is accurate, and it went sideways for a period of time, but I think we're hopeful that the kinks have been ironed out and that we'll receive the funding for this specific project so that we can partner with Edifice Media.
Any other concerns of council?
I'm a member of the Coalition for Huron Injury Prevention, and they'll be making a presentation to County Council tomorrow for more funding, or Wednesday, sorry, for more funding. But they're running a program this year advising drivers to hang up your cell phone and just drive. And there'll be radio ads and other media presentations going on with that. As well, once the weather turns kind of better, we'll be starting to place the speed sign around the county in different locations. And the speed sign is located in Blythe, and if anyone wants it or has a desire to have it put in a specific spot, you can either contact myself or Tim, and we'll arrange to have the speed sign set up. And then there's a data logger included in that speed sign, so we can record the speeds. Then we know if there is a huge speeding problem in different locations, and then the OPP or the Wingham Police will follow up with radar traps.
Any other points?
Just want to bring this
Go
little
ahead.
flyer that came in with our information for our council package tonight. And this is the Blythe Historical Village, I guess you'd call it a brochure that's going out. And I just want to get this straight. $7,500 has been put forward, taxpayers' money towards this. So when I look at this, there's, yeah. Tell me about it.
$7,500 has been put towards our marketing initiative with the Blythe Festival. So $2,500 of that is for joint marketing throughout the year with the Blythe Festival, which can take any shape. In the past, we have done some joint marketing with Real Women Magazine when Alice Munro play was on, and we did kind of a partnership with the Blythe Festival, with the Alice Munro Garden, with Ben Miller, in, and we kind of targeted that Girls Away weekend sort of thing. So that's the sort of stuff that partnership will show up with through the year. What we targeted for this was $5,000 to get it off the ground, but this year we incorporated a pay-to-play component for the businesses in Blythe to buy into that. So we have 6 businesses, I believe there's 6, right, have bought into that at $400. So the cost to the businesses will actually cover the cost of the printing and the cost of the design for that brochure. So the $5,000 that's going to go to the festival actually goes to help them send out their marketing. So they send out to 15,000 people direct mail their Blythe brochure. This is going in with that. The intent of this brochure is just to entice people to come and spend a little bit more time in the area. So the $5,000 is basically helping the Blythe Festival with the postage.
That's fine. So we have $10,000 that we give them for advertising. Is this part of that $10,000? Or is this something separate?
We haven't given them $10,000.
I thought in the budget we had $20,000 2 years in a row, and this year we had $10,000 for the budgeting, and they put $10,000 aside for capital.
$7,500, you know, $10,000 went aside for capital, and $7,500 went for the Blythe
And
marketing.
this is the Blythe marketing.
Hard top, yes. But it's the $5,000 that helps them send out their brochure to their direct marketing.
But
So
this is
15
not the brochure.
No, it's the Blythe Festival brochure.
Yeah.
So that
This
they
goes
send
in
out
with-
to their direct mailing.
Yeah, I
So
understand
that goes in with it to entice people to come to Blythe and spend a little bit more time.
Okay. So, just one last question, Connie. If there was more people that wanted to participate in this, then with that budget you have for it, could more people participate, or this is it?
This is it for now, for the $15,000 that are being sent out, and then we have 6,000 additional to be used at the ESDC Center or wherever that we might need. Now, the idea that the Blythe BIA has come up with, they would like to see a more expanded brochure available locally. So once people get to Blythe, include more businesses, but that will be a BIA initiative.
That's where I was going. So you have 6 people that participate in this. If you had 12 people wanting to participate, could you fit them in here, or the answer is no, there's only room for these 6? Doesn't matter who the 6 is.
Yeah, no, for those the 15,000 that is mailed out, that is done.
Okay.
That is done and gone. And no, we did not want to include all of the businesses. We targeted the tourist businesses and the ones that would entice people to come and spend some time. A more expanded version that might be available through the BIA will include more of the businesses, but it'll be available locally. It won't be mailed all across Ontario.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, possibly I maybe should mention G2G, that there's renewed interest in the Guelph to Godrich walking, hiking, biking trail. That there's sort of a revived group. They've caught a second wind or third wind as it is, and the 11 kilometers at the west end basically is used extensively, and approximately 45 kilometers at the east end is fairly well used. The group is trying to work on filling in the center portion of 127 kilometers that the whole trail would be gone, and that it will. I think there's a lot of work to do in trying to enlist basically from Milverton to most of the way through Huron County. I think some of the actual leases on property and the right-of-ways could be a stipulation that would definitely slow it down, but I know that RTO4, which is the tourism group that we're linked with, is Wellington, Waterloo, Huron, and Perth counties, that they are working on, I'll say, destination marketing. If you can have, say, some people stopping live, it will be a number of things that they can do. It won't be coming for 2 hours at the theater. It will be trying to put together 1 or 2 or 3 day stays for people taking holidays or whatever. And that there has to be a lot of coordination. And I'll say the people that have accommodations will have to be able to do booking. And that at the meeting I was at, that they figured reserve booking, that they would like at least 5 days notification for taking reservations to really book things, so that there isn't a lot of last minute surprises and disappointments. But if there's any other ones of council or staff that want to add anything, that it is definitely something that is being pursued as something that they look at the population, that even if you take 5% of the population wanting to use it, you still could have up to 200,000 people on parts of the trail within each year.
I have been talking to a number of people in personal connection with the Greenway Trail Committee. We've talked about this. I was quite alarmed at one point. Someone was mentioning the fact that ATVs may be used on this trail, and I said that's not going to be allowed in this part of the trail, because that would contradict our bylaws. And the person said, well, the area is wide enough that we could have adjacent trails, one for ATVs and one for walking and riding, and maybe one for horses. That's not going to work either. But I'm a little bit concerned. I had a long talk with Chris Lee from Walton, and he's filled me in that they're really in the very early stages of discussing this, and they haven't had any firm proposals as of yet. And he didn't think that the ATVs would be a barrier. But it's just something that we need to keep in mind, because we cannot allow them with the liability questions and the effect that it would have on the whole township if we were to allow ATVs in that area.
Okay, there was approximately 35 people showed up at the Queen's Bakery.
Yes.
I intend to be there. Very strong opposition to motorized use of it. That there was some that were moderate on snowmobiles in the winter. A number of others said if you're snowshoeing or skiing on it, you don't want the snowmobiles on the same trail. And that there was a lot of that hiking, biking, or just walking was what could be sold on most of the trail. My understanding in the part, the 45 kilometers right from Guelph, is that it's the bike, hike, and walk without the four-wheelers on it. So that, James.
So what about the farmers who have removed the railroad land now and are farming that land? They're not in our municipality, they're in a neighboring municipality, but I've heard some people have come to me and asked me, and I said, you gotta go to your own council, don't come to us.
I'm not sure if a lease on all the property is available to them. That there's some properties that I understood before the province actually fully took ownership and decided to keep it as a possible utility corridor to take water to Guelph when Guelph was looking in the early 90s as possibly trying to use Lake Huron as a source of potable drinking water. But I was thinking there was at least a handful of properties that were actually leased out to the farmers, so that as long as they kept the lease up and the renewal, I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay.
And that the only way this will go ahead is they will have to go to the maps and go through every property owner and what the deals are. I just brought it up as something that is in the works, so that there's the group working on it.
It's a great idea, and I hope it goes through.
I think it's a great idea too, but my biggest concern is the policing of the church. And why make something if you can't police it? It's a lot of things, we make laws and bylaws to control things, but they're not policed. If you're not gonna police it, you soon be a disaster.
Any other points? Okay. Clerk Administrator's report.
Okay, thank you. We've provided council with information regarding the Ontario Economic Summit for Ontario's agri-food sector. This is taking place next Tuesday at the Reach Centre. It's an all-day event. Please let me know if you'd like to attend. I was informed earlier today that Premier Wynne is confirmed as the lunch speaker. So if you're interested in attending the Ontario Economic Summit next Tuesday in Clinton regarding Ontario's agri-food sector, please let me know. And I have 3 items on camera. The first being personal matter about identifiable individual, North Huron firefighter. We have a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality regarding municipal land in Wingham. And thirdly, we have labor relations or employee negotiations, specifically North Huron Morris Turnberry fire negotiations. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Gary. Moving to public gallery questions or comments. Joe.
Who's the contact person for the chairs, the chairs?
The group that's looking to rent them, you mean? Blythe Brussels Minor Hockey, Paul Coltis.
Oh, cool.
If I have his contact information if you need it. If you think the treasurers might be able to help them
Oh, okay.
come see you, yep.
We've got a meeting coming up. Well, it's supposed to be tonight, but it's canceled because of the weather.
Okay. I have his contact information if you want to see me after.
Cold.
Other questions or comments? Any?
Yes.
Make him take a towel.
It's cold in here.
Yeah, it is.
Shame
I'll
on
try to
you.
save money.
To Pat, through yourself, the Brussels was supposed to keep the ice in, correct?
Correct.
Have they provided any reason why they didn't? Or why they're not?
I've only had that second hand. You would have to talk to their council, their CAO, or their arena manager. I've heard it through Blythe Brussels Minor Hockey.
Anything else? Okay. I'll take a motion to go in camera. Councilor Campbell, Councillor Hallahan, all in favor? There, we will have